More on the Trump administration and their reaction to these protests. White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy, Homeland Security Advisor, our friend Stephen Miller, is back. For those that don't know, Antifada means holy war. From the river to the sea means wiping Israel off the map. So you have these groups of students that are supporting radical Islamic terrorists and not supporting Israel's right to defend itself. And I'm having a hard time understanding what part of the equivalent of 40,000 Americans killed in a day they don't understand, rape they don't understand, beheading they don't understand, torture they don't understand, and kidnapping they don't understand. I would think that, you know, kids that got into an Ivy League institution, Stephen, might be smart enough to figure that out.
Yes, Sean. Well, of course, the problem is that some of these students do understand, and they support terrorism. They support murder. They support the kidnapping and torture of Israelis and Americans. And it is that sinister, and it is that depraved, and it is that soulless. You are talking about students who support Hamas, who support an organization that is as barbaric and as evil as any organization to be found anywhere. We all saw what happened on October 7th. We all saw the atrocities that took place. Americans were kidnapped and slaughtered, along with Israelis. And President Trump's message has been clear. If these universities don't crack down, and that includes, of course, the expulsion of these students, then they will lose their federal funds. And you will see announcements coming from the federal government as soon as tomorrow detailing those consequences. Those consequences will be swift, they will be firm, they will be immediate. The universities must discipline these students. They must break up these protests. They must expel the terrorist sympathizers and reclaim their campuses. Furthermore, as we speak, under President Trump's direction, federal law enforcement is identifying any foreign nationals who are engaged in these protests or demonstrations or support for a foreign terrorist organization. And those foreign nationals will have their visas stripped, and they will be arrested, and they will be deported from the country. This administration will give no safe harbor to foreigners in our country who support Hamas and who support terrorism.
These schools have very strict policies against racism and sexism and sexual harassment and on and on and on. Why are they tolerating this outright virulent hatred and anti-Semitism against Israel? And I support the administration and their position to cut off funds, and I don't really think it matters because these schools have, you know, $1 billion in endowments, don't they? Schools like Harvard and Columbia.
They do, but I will tell you, they will feel this pain if they lose these federal funds. They have many programs that are funded directly by the federal government that will not continue if they do not change their behavior and change their behavior quickly. These universities are on notice. President Trump has issued the warning. We will use every federal tool we have. Let's be very clear. This is a violation of the federal civil rights of American students and American Jewish students on these campuses. This is also a national security issue. We cannot have our universities becoming a hotbed for extremism, jihadism, and terrorist sympathy. Nor can we have universities that accept thousands of foreign students, allowing those students to participate in pro-Hamas activity.
What was your reaction to Tuesday night, and what does it say about the Democratic Party when they can't celebrate or even stand for our president, stand for our first lady, stand for mothers who lost children to unvetted Biden-Harris illegals, stand for a 13-year-old cancer survivor, stand for a kid who lost his father and is going to West Point, and the president informed him of that, or a young woman that lost her hero police officer husband? What is wrong with that party? What happened to their moral compass? Where's their moral clarity?
The moral compass is smashed and broken into a million pieces. Tuesday night, you saw the best of America in the form of the heroes you just mentioned, with President Trump's historic and extraordinary address, and you saw the bravest of America, and you saw the most noble of America, and then you saw in Democrats contempt for America. And as President Trump said, they can lose the midterms on their behavior that night alone, Sean.
Yeah, I think it was his finest moment, and we saw the death of a party.
His finest moment and their lowest moment.
Bankrupt. Yeah, well said. Stephen, we appreciate it. Stephen